And record on this.
Starting recording. Shawn is recording the call. I don't have a list. I'm just going to make shit up.
I always have a list.
You always have a list. You OCD motherfucker.
I have to. I don't put this in Trello, though. I put it in Trello.
I knew it.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the nerdiest competition ever created by the Language of Bromance team. In this corner, obsessed with Star Wars and anything with swords, Richard! And in this corner, obsessed with the Ninja Turtles and scared of anything from the ocean, Shawn! In association with the LOB Army. Tonight's competition is a Language of Bromance Draft.
What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are speaking the language of bromance. And today, Shawn, is a draft day. And I am ready. No, I'm not. I'm not at all ready. But luckily, this is a topic that I feel like everybody thinks about this. Like moments of, you know, like you're driving to work or you're driving home from work. Like everybody has this thought. Like,
yeah, you're sitting there in the bathtub holding that toaster right above the water, and you're like, well, maybe I'll hold out for this. There's a chance, right? I could win. You got to play to win.
Yeah. And then you get up and slip, and the toaster falls in anyway.
Yep. But you remember to put toast in, so toast.
Yeah.
Richard, what we're going to do today is, it's like you said, you go to the gas station, you buy a $10 lottery ticket, and for the next, 6 hours, you're like, oh, my God.
$10? What are you buying $10 for? Mine are $2.
It's 5 plays. It's $2 per play. You get 5 plays.
Yeah, I know, but I only spend $2. I spend $2.
I don't know. 10's like a good even number. I feel like, so my grandpa plays the same numbers.
Mr.
I don't know if it's weekly.
Over here with his $10 ticket.
I don't do it that often.
Yeah, now I'll tell you what you can do. Dude, save that $10 or at least save 8 of it.
But my grandpa plays
this. Get something on your list.
Maybe. My grandpa plays the same numbers. Like I said, I don't know if it's weekly or what it is, but I always feel like I don't want to do that because my luck, the week I'd miss would be the week those numbers would hit. But Richard, we're going to do a lottery draft. What this is, we're going to pretend like we won. And this isn't this isn't piddly money, Richard. This isn't $1 million lottery or a $5 million lottery. Like, you remember, it was 3 or 4 years ago, it got up to $1 billion lottery.
80 gajillion quad million dollaroonies.
Yeah, this is the lottery, Richard, that in your lifetime, you couldn't screw up enough to lose all the money. So the 500 million, $1 billion amount.
I have not yet begun to screw up.
So if you don't know, you should, what our drafts are. And Richard, this is our 61st draft.
Oh.
Yeah. And what our drafts are is our NFL style, where we flip-flop picks back and forth. And when we decide to see who goes first, we flip the penny to see who was first, and I won. So on odd drafts, I get the first pick. Even drafts, Richard gets the first pick, and that means I get the first pick in the first round, first pick in the second round, and so forth. And yeah, this is an odd draft, Richard. So I won the lottery in this instance, so I get to go first.
Oh, okay.
But Richard, do you have anything else you want to add in this? So kind of the rules for this, really, there aren't any. Just you want to take that money, you want to buy, spend, do whatever you want. This is your opportunity.
Little do you know, I only have 2 picks: cocaine and whores.
Oh shit! Your wife walked behind you.
Oh shit! Cocaine and not whores.
I said donut holes.
Very respectable women. That's better, right? That makes it better. It should. If it doesn't.
So Richard, my first round pick, this is something I got to do a few years back, not with my father, but what I'd want to do with my dad. I got to go on a fishing trip to Alaska.
Oh, okay.
And we're talking like deep in Alaska, like far away from civilization, where like they basically build these cabins with whatever they have on hand.
Yeah.
And what I'd want to do, Richard, is...
had to worry about bears and stuff.
Oh, yeah, there's bears all over. Like, you got to be careful with those. Like, people carry guns around in case they do show up. And sometimes when you shoot them, they still keep coming. Scary stuff, Richard.
Because they're bears?
Yeah. And they're out in the middle of nowhere. And they're like, oh, you look like a slow, tasty morsel. And then they eat.
They're right.
No, because they take a bite and like, wait, you taste like Cheetos. You're not organic. But I always wanted to do this with my dad because I think it would be fun. And it would be to take one of these fishing trips to Alaska. It'd be like a week-long trip in the bush, fishing for these big salmon, trout, all kinds of fun stuff. You know, this is a place where you have to take a little bush plane. So you basically have to take a plane to get to one spot, like a decent-sized plane.
Right.
Then you got to take another plane. So you got to fly to Alaska. Then you got to fly from your main spot in Alaska to a little gravel landing spot. And then, Richard, you get into a 2-seater plane to fly to where your cabin is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of small flying
jump
stuff.
Out of the plane.
You got a parachute out.
Yeah.
And if you fall and break your fishing pole, then you're probably going to starve.
Yep.
And that's where my dad would come in because he's more of a man.
Share.
Yeah. Well, no, my dad's a manly man, so he's going to be able to save you. Like, Dad, I'm so hungry. Will you make me some toast? But it'd be a cool father-son experience. Like, it's one of those things that, like, when you're out there, you don't have any kind of, like, Wi-Fi. You don't have phone service. You are literally in the middle of nowhere. And when this time is going on, usually it's like mid-June to the end of July. And if you don't know, Richard, in Alaska at this time period, sun doesn't go down, hardly goes down.
Nope.
It's like maybe looks
30
like
days
dusk.
a day.
Looks like a little bit of dusk. That's about as dark as it gets, Richard. So really long days. That's usually, like a cool fall temperature, so it's not hot. Not a lot of bugs where I was at. And then you get like fresh fish, fresh food, like clean, super clean area.
You would just do a week? Like, you have all the money in the world, Shawn. Why not do 2 weeks? Why not a month?
Well, it would be a full, like, the fishing excursion would be 7 days. So, like, that's like the day we land, we're not leaving for 7 days at least.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's the unlimited amount of time.
I guess I'm just, like 7 days just doesn't, like, you feel like 7 days and then you're like, oh, I'm good. Like, this is good enough.
That's probably enough, because I think when I was up there for like 5 or 6 days. And like these places, Richard, there are so many fish. Like, it's not like, fishing the lakes and stuff around here where you might catch 2. Like, you probably catch 2 in like a 10-minute period up there. Because there's just so many of them coming out. Because basically what they're doing is they're swimming up the rivers to spawn, and they die. So whenever they go up, they lay their eggs, and then they die. So there's just tons of them coming through. But it would just be a great, like, opportunity to sit with Dad for, hours at a time just fishing and just talking and sharing stories and sharing meals. And
do you think that he would be into that?
I told him, I said, Dad, if I ever win the lottery, I'm going to take you fishing. He's like, sweet. He's like, by myself, right? Oh, Dad, you're such a kidder. He's like, wait, you're going to send me and your mom? No, I'm going to go too. He's like, no, not interested. Can I just have the money?
Yeah.
No, I think he'd be into it too.
Just put cash in a card, son. It's fine. I'll totally be fine with that.
But no, Richard, my first round pick would be a fishing trip in Alaska. I'd probably take like my mom and like my father-in-law too, but specifically with my dad.
Okay, nice. I also have a travel thing. Mine is a bit more extended, Shawn. For my first pick, I would spend 1 year traveling around the world. That would be, I guess if you're asking, like, If that would be the first, that would definitely be the first, that would be the first thing I would start planning. Like the second they were like, okay, it looks like you won. Like that would be the first thing I would start doing, would be starting to plan a 1 year around the world.
So is that something you would want somebody else to plan, or are you planning that trip?
Probably a little of both. I would probably plan it conceptually, but I would need somebody for logistics.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to be booking my own plane tickets and stuff. I'm like, somebody else do that. I'm rich now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I would actually go to a travel agency because,
so are you
to me, a travel agent is like something that like not necessarily doesn't exist, but like it seems like one of those things that like, well, why do I need a travel agent? Like, what?
I'm going to let you know. Well, we're about to do a trip where we basically booked all the stuff ourselves. We've gone through a travel agent before.
Yeah.
And I always feel like what they do is they just Travelocity or, hotels.com it, and then they just give me that with an upcharge.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you if my experience in my next trip is awful. If I'm like, Richard, it was horrible.
My parents planned, like, we had like 2 big family vacations, and we did like a Disney World trip. And for that Disney World trip, my dad used a travel agent. And I will say that I think for something like that, when it comes to like trying to, get like tickets to like amusement parks, or, like setting up hotels and trying to like package all that, like it definitely, I think that a travel agent is probably super useful.
Oh, yeah.
They're looking at things that you wouldn't think to look for when it comes to like, like getting deals and stuff like that. But then again, I mean, like if I won the lottery, do I give a shit if I saved like, 10% on a fucking a ticket? Like, I don't
Disney
really care.
World, like you'd go through somebody, because that's like Disney World's its own beast. But you're like, if I want to spend 2 weeks in Rome, for instance,
right?
Like you just have to get there and find where you're going to stay.
Yeah.
And if you have the kind of money that a lottery would entail, like you're staying at a 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
Like you're going to walk into a place and be like, I want your best suite. And they're going to look at me or you and be like, security. And you're like, no.
No, you're not.
You lay down a big wad of cash. There's 10 grand. I want your best suite.
Yeah. Ooh, right away, sir.
Which I don't know if 10 grand would be enough for a week or 2 weeks at one of those places.
Probably not. I think a lot of those places go for like,
you're probably looking at 2 or 3 grand a night.
Yeah, a lot of those places are probably like at bare minimum, I would say probably $1,200 a night.
And probably when you're there, you're like, if you show up with cash, like, sorry, we don't take cash. So then, like, Richard, you know what you have to get?
About like a penthouse suite at a 5-star place, I would say, $1,200 a night.
I'd say at least.
That's lowballing.
But and they won't take cash, Richard. So you know what you have to get? What? Black MasterCard.
Those don't exist, Shawn. We've talked about this. They don't exist. It's not real. It's a unicorn. Stop trying to convince me otherwise. It's not real. They're not around. Doesn't happen. But yeah, so I would spend 1 year traveling around the world. I would probably like say I do exactly like you said. It'd be like, oh, I'll do 2 weeks here. I'll do 3 weeks here. I'll just bounce around.
So what's like the 5 places that you'd want to hit up for sure?
I definitely would want to check out Japan.
Yep, that's what we'll do on my top ones.
Japan seems super interesting to me. Hong Kong would probably be like the next stop. Maybe Korea. I'm right now. I'm thinking like I'm not really thinking like in a top 5 sense. I'm thinking of like in a geographical sense. Like as I'm going like so Japan would probably be stop number 1. Then like Hong Kong looks really cool. Vietnam, honestly, like Hanoi, like looks really, really pretty. India, definitely India. That would be on there. Food looks amazing there. The thing I like about India is the food all seems regional. Like the food's very regional. So like you're in one area and you go to a different area and things will be completely different. Egypt would be all right. I'd be okay with Egypt.
Would be up there too, yeah.
Egypt would be up there.
Although that one I feel would be sad because like whenever you see the pyramids, it looks like they're in the middle of nowhere. But when you do like the pullback shot and see it, they're like right next to the city.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the city is like slowly like creeping its way there.
Yeah.
To where it's gonna eventually like take it over and then the pyramids are gonna look like a stop on the fucking Vegas Strip. You know,
somebody's gonna be like, you know what? Do we really need these things? We've got enough pictures. Let's just put them down and put at condos. The Pharaoh won't mind.
Let's see where, and then I would probably hit a lot of Europe. Europe in general looks super fun and seems super easy to travel. Like Italy, Germany, Amsterdam, Holland, like Copenhagen, like Denmark looks good. London, obviously, France.
That'd be kind of like just
France.
running up the states, like
Morocco. Morocco looks looks like a cool city. Yeah, pretty much all of England, Scotland, Ireland, all of France, kind of the big major cities in like Germany and Italy. So yeah, I'd spend. It would be a year, at least a year. Because now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, if I did 2 weeks here, 3 weeks here, 4 weeks here.
It'd add up quick. Because what's cool with that too is when you do that full year, you could figure out like the 5 or 6 places that you really, really like, and you could spend, 1 week a month in one of those places.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see like if you won that kind of. I'm sure it would take forever.
I mean, even and then I'd even get into like the Americas, like South America, like Argentina. Peru, Mexico, Cuba. Cuba looks amazing. Cuba looks super pretty.
I've heard, the island and stuff is amazing.
Yeah. That's what that would be the first thing on my list. Like if you handed me a giant check for, X million dollars, like that would be the first thing I would start planning. Would be that trip.
Well, I'm going to keep the traveling going. This is to a specific spot.
Okay.
So for my second pick, Richard. I know my wife would definitely want to go all over the world, kind of like you.
Yeah.
But I want this home base where once a quarter, I'm guaranteed I'm going to be there for 10 days. And it's the resort that we go to in Cancun called Live Aqua. It's where we're going to go here pretty quick.
Okay.
Just one of my favorite places on the face of the earth because Richard, they have essential oils there. So you walk in and it smells good.
I think we talked about this like a couple weeks ago when you were like, "Oh, it's good. I'm going to stay in this resort in Cancun." I'm like, "Yeah, but like Mexico's a big country. Like, do you like leave the I feel like resorts kind of like not turn me off, but like I'm kind of like I don't know because I feel like with a resort, I feel like I get the sense that like it's like a bubble, you know what? Like,
well, I mean, Cancun itself is very much kind of it's not Mexico City. There are some old ruins which we've gone and visited that are pretty close to the actual resort, which is kind of cool. But I mean, a lot of those things too. Unless it kind of goes down to safety, right? Like, it's not going to be smart for like 2 people who can't speak Spanish to be running around like Cancun, because we're going to stick out pretty much like a sore thumb.
I think, that holds true for like, some cities in America where it's like, hey, when it gets dark, like maybe if you're not familiar with the area, maybe you shouldn't wander around.
Yeah.
Like I think that's true every bit for, like New York or like places in Florida. I would say that it's the same there as it is in Mexico City. Like if you're not 100% familiar with an area, maybe you shouldn't be out.
Yeah.
Once the sun goes
I'm not
down.
saying it's.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's specific just to Cancun, but
yeah.
the resort kind of gives you everything you need, and they have excursions that are kind of like what you would jump on to go see these things. So there are opportunities to go and see like the older ruins and stuff like that. But to me, it's just more of the food there is really good. It's really relaxing. Nice. They take care of you really well. I don't know if it's true or not, if they just told us this, but apparently that is one of the only, there might be like one or two other ones, but the only actual resort that is owned by Mexico or Mexican owned. So apparently a lot of the other resorts are owned by like European or Russian companies or people.
Sure. Yeah,
so because like, this is,
cashing in on the almighty tourism dollar.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with these
exploiting another country and culture while lining their pockets.
Basically,
I like okay. See, now I'm kind of I'm interested.
Yeah, and that's why I've kind of even liked this a little bit more, because the people that work there are from the area. And so you're kind of in a way helping the area itself, instead of, going to this resort where they, maybe have a few people from the area, but for the most part, the place is being employed by, people from Europe or overseas.
Sure. Well, and also like you could go up to them and be like, hey, I want to, is there some place like, close to here that like there's something cool I can see, or something cool I can do, or something cool I can eat? Yeah.
So I guess this is probably what I should say if I'm going there quarterly. I'd want to get like as fluent as I can with Spanish, because that happened for us. On one of our trips, we met up with a couple, and the guy that we met, his family, I think, was originally from Mexico and moved to the States. So he was like fluent in both. He was bilingual, spoke English and Spanish very well. And he got along with a couple of the servers and stuff, because basically what happens is, if you speak the language, then obviously they're going to, they kind of take a liking to you, because, if you're bilingual and they speak your language, it feels like you're trying, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
And so one of the servers, he's like, hey, is there any place close that we can, go see these things? He's like, yeah, sure. Like, I can't like leave the resort with you, but you can meet me up here and I'll take you there. And he took us like less than 2 miles away to this awesome Mayan, ruins and stuff. So instead of us having to drive, so instead of us having to drive 6 hours to go see the touristy one, we got to see one that was super close.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And this guy, like, he's like, hey, I want to go here for like food, and we went to like I say authentic. It was just a Cancun Mexican restaurant, like just like what we'd see like a mom and pop type thing.
So now you're like, pick number 3, Rosetta Stone.
Yes. But that would be what I want to do, because like I said, I love that place so much. And it's not like, a lot of times I think people think of Cancun and resorts, they think of like foam parties and, like wet t-shirt contests, like spring break atmosphere.
Right.
This place is not like that at all. Although there is a commercial I just saw that is kind of racy in terms of like when I go down there, Richard, my wife doesn't do what some of the things this girl was doing in this video. So,
and I know, because I watched it 8 times.
So pick number 3, that lady from the commercial. No, but my second round pick would be quarterly trips to this resort.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying with the language thing. Like I had 2 years of high school Spanish, and I feel like all that is now fallen out of my head. However, Amanda, just from like working and doing like travel contracts and stuff, she's actually like way more fluent in Spanish than I am at this point. Because like she did contracts in California and New Mexico, and she picked up Spanish. She actually even picked up some I want to say it's Navajo. Because like people would come from the they'd come to the hospital from the reservation or whatever, and so she would like pick up little bits of phrase. Like I wish I had that talent I would love. I feel like in general, I would just like to learn another language, and I feel like learning one, especially something like Spanish, is the key to learning others. Like if you learn Spanish, then French is easier, Italian's easier, Portuguese is easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything, like learning a guitar or something like that. Like it takes you to actively try to do it or be exposed to it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But yet, if I'm going there every 4 months, I'm definitely going to try and get better at it for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Even today, so like, so my big problem is when I go, I'll say like, hello, hola, or I'll say goodbye, or, you know, like basically I like say them both because I don't want to like say it and make it feel like it's condescending, even though if I say them both, they probably just think I'm a dumbass.
Hey, adios.
Well, I don't laugh.
Don't say it like that.
I don't laugh when I say it. But like I'll say like they'll be like, how you doing? I'm like, oh, very good, muy bien. Tiff's like, you know, those mean the same thing, right? I'm like, yeah, I do, but I want to make sure they know that I'm not fluent in it. And she's like, no, they know. You
should act surprised. You should be like, really?
But yeah, that would be my second round pick.
All right. Number two for me. Number two for me would be so I spent a year traveling the world. I'll probably do it again. You know, you spend a year traveling the world and then, you know, you kind of pick spots you like or spots that you haven't gone and then you do it all over again. So that would probably be a running theme for me. However, Shawn, I still need a home base. And so for my second round pick, I need a big house. I got a big family, Shawn. I got 3 kids. I got a wife. There's a caveat to this though. My house needs at least one completely secret room.
I like it. Is this going to be your
This is going to be like my bat cave. This isn't the red room, Shawn. This isn't the red room or whatever the room was in 50 Shades of Grey. This isn't that room. That's a totally separate room.
That's the room you walk in. Amanda just shuts the door and locks you. And you're like, well, no, babe, you're supposed to be in here with me.
This is by myself my red room now.
I'm a bad boy. Whack. Ooh, I am a bad boy. Whack.
This ass isn't going to spank itself.
Or is it? So what would you have in your secret room?
Well, that's where I keep all my toys. But the toys thing would be, you know, that's a pick down the road. But I'm just saying that but I need the house and I need the secret room. I need a bookcase. I need a bookcase secret door. Like I'm talking like Wayne Manor secret room. That's
so
your way
in is going to be the one book that you pull and it opens up.
Either the one book or like there's some false books and it opens up and there's a panel with a keypad on it.
See, I'd want like the handprint. Like I'd want something that I could touch. Like it's hidden, like you said, like I pull down certain books or I open a certain book. And when I turn to the page and put my hand on it, it scans it. So like keypad, somebody could figure out the code. The book, somebody could figure that out. But that, unless they cut my hand off, it's just mine.
Yeah. Or retinal scan.
Ooh, retinal scan would be good. I wonder how cheap that is. Like, is that something that you could, I mean, obviously you're a lottery winner, so it doesn't matter, but like, what is that cost? Is that 10 grand?
Shawn's like, can I do this now? What if I do this now?
It's just for my house lock, so it's just like, click. Ooh, I like that a lot though.
So, I've watched videos on like Reddit and on YouTube on like how to actually build a secret door in your house. And even then, I'm still like, they're like, oh, if you just get this and this and this, then you can, you know, build a bookcase and then you just put it on a hinge and blah, blah, blah. And then it works. And I'm like, that sounds really, really cool. But then I look at like my house and I'm like, where would I put which room would I make the secret room? And at this point, like the only room I could think of where it wouldn't look obvious would be like my laundry room.
Yeah. Or you could do like a wine cellar. That could be a good spot for one.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of down and way out of the way. Yeah, the guest room wouldn't work because that'd be awkward if like I'm staying over and you come in. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, don't worry. Can you see me? So where's this big house going to be? Like, where's it going to be located?
Honestly, like in my head, I'm picturing Wayne Manor.
No, but like what state or city or both?
Oh, I would probably go with Northern California.
Okay. I always feel like Colorado's where I'd go.
Big redwood trees. Colorado would be all right. Colorado would be okay. It's a lot of snow though. Like I feel like you get snowed in and then
yeah, some, but from what I hear, like people in Colorado, like they've got it figured out. Like
yeah.
It's
I
like,
mean, yeah, you throw some chains on your tires, and
well, and in terms of just like maintenance on the roads too, it's because like they're not. It's like the problem with us in the Midwest is we kind of get surprised with it.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my god, we got 6 inches of snow, now we're screwed, and it takes a while for everything to get caught up. But there, it's like, wait, we get 6 inches like daily, and I'm like, oh yeah, well you get ready when I move there because you're gonna get 3 inches daily. Penis joke.
Oh, I couldn't feel it.
Third round pick. Penis enlargement surgery.
But yeah, I think like a house like set in like the redwoods.
Yeah,
like
that'd be
big
dope.
ass giant trees, like in that fucking like just in the forest. You know what? I like actually if I'm really thinking about it, basically what I want is Skywalker Ranch. Just maybe not with so many outbuildings.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because like Skywalker Ranch, like George has his house there, and the house, there's the house and everything. But also, like on Skywalker Ranch, you've got like there's like 5 or 6 different buildings that like house like actual businesses, like Skywalker Sound and THX and ILM, like all that stuff's there. Like me, I just want the house.
What's nice about that too?
I maybe don't need as much land as George did, because I'm not putting like a multi-headed hydra of a conglomerate company next to my house.
The more land you have, the less likely anybody's going to be around you.
I mean, I don't, honestly, like I don't mind neighbors so much. Like, I mean, do I want like space? Sure. But like, it's not like a huge deal breaker. Like, I don't want to, like, if I have that kind of money, obviously I don't want a house like right next to me. But like, if there's a house that's like a mile away or less than a mile away, like that's fine.
Yeah, that's still quite a bit of land. Like that's
You're
I'd
right.
want it to where I can't, like, not like, a 50-mile compound, but like more of like, I don't want to be able to see, like Pecos Bill idea. Like, I don't want to see the smoke from somebody's chimney. I don't want anybody that close.
Yeah, see, that doesn't bother me. I wouldn't mind seeing, it wouldn't bother me to see the smoke from somebody else's chimney.
Yeah, that's less than a mile though. That's like yards away.
Okay.
Not for me. I want to be left alone.
I didn't realize you were such a hermit.
Yeah. It'd be nice. Because I mean, like the main reason like now, like I want to be like close to people is like internet. But if you've got all this money, you could be anywhere and get internet just fine. That's
true. Yeah. I mean, I'm still kind of like, whatever. If somebody's, if somebody's close, like that's fine. But just like a big kind of area with a lot of trees. So big house with a big area, a lot of trees, secret room. Basically what I'm saying is I want Wayne Manor, Shawn. That's what I want. I want Wayne Manor set in the California redwoods.
I'm trying to figure out like how big of a house I would want.
Also, I need that house to be self-sustaining, meaning solar panels, own its own water. Like if society completely collapses, the only thing I lose is internet.
Yeah, I think that'd be definitely doable. Trying to think like house size though. I don't think I'd want to go over 4,000 square feet.
I have no clue how the square footage thing works. Like the house I have now, something like this would work. I'd be fine with something like this with what I have now. I don't need a lot of space. Like a place to sleep, a living room, a kitchen, a bathroom. Like if it was just me by myself, if I had like a 2-bedroom apartment, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like that's all the space I need.
You're saying Wayne Manor, which that's probably like 60,000 square feet. Like you're talking like
True, but
30 bedrooms, 20 baths.
But
no, wait, it's always way more.
In this case, I have like a wife and 3 kids. So like all the extra stuff is for them. The 2-bedroom, like they quote unquote 2-bedroom apartment is just for me.
The secret room is just for you.
Yeah, the secret room and then common spaces. Everything else, like I don't really give a shit about.
I like it.
I would be one of those people that like walks in and be like, I didn't even know we had this. We have a rec room? What's in the rec room? A pool table? When did we get a pool table?
Who's paying for this bowling alley?
In-ground pool? What the fuck? Do you know how much this costs?
Oh, yeah, I won the lottery. Who cares? Going back to my secret room. For my 3rd round pick, Richard, this is definitely something for me. I want to be a car guy, but I'm not really a car guy.
I am 100% not a car guy.
But I feel like if I won the lottery, I have to get what would be kind of like my dream car. And it's nothing too exorbitant. I mean, price-wise, it's still ridiculous.
Dodge Dart.
Dodge. Actually, some of those Dodge Darts they came back out with them weren't too bad. No, I had an old, not an old version, but I had like a older of the new model of this. But I'd want a souped up. You're talking like $70,000 or $80,000 car.
Okay.
And it would be a brand new Dodge Charger SRT with a Hemi.
Okay. I mean, I am 100. Like I said, I'm 100% not a car guy. So I mean, everything you said sounds expensive and it sounds good. Question mark.
So like when you talk about like expenses in cars, like this is kind of like, this is definitely like your.
What makes this car cost as much as it costs? Is it the rarity of the car?
No.
Or is it something specific when like talking about like the engine or?
It's more like the engines and the perks. So like it's going to ride smooth. It's going to be faster. It's going to be a little bit higher quality materials. But Richard, like 80,000 for a vehicle like this is not like anything ridiculous. Like if you're talking like a Viper, you're talking more probably in like the hundreds of thousands, like 120,000. Okay. So this is not like that. Like this isn't something like LeBron James is driving, right? He's driving some kind of like foreign luxury type car.
Right.
So he would look at this car as like his everyday vehicle that he doesn't care if it gets beat up. But this would be just this would just be the one I would want. And then I'd have some kind of like junker truck. I say junker, like another like $50,000 truck because those are expensive too. Just normal.
Like me, like, okay, I would probably have some form of truck and or SUV. Because of the terrain where I would live. And then I'd probably like find some flashy sports car just that would look good to me. But that would probably be it.
But
Other
so like
that,
in comparing prices, like if you bought like a luxury, like what's the big Escalade? That's going to probably run about like the price of this car.
Okay.
So like it's not. So I'm trying to say like, this isn't like, you know, the Viper or the Lambo or anything like that. Like it's definitely way below those tiers. But I've always liked the Dodge Chargers. My dad, he doesn't like the new ones, but he drove, I think a 71 to 72 back in the day. So he's got like a soft spot for older Chargers. But mine would just be a brand new Dodge Charger SRT.
Nice. Okay. I mean, like I said, I feel bad because I couldn't really comment much on it because I'm cargo vroom.
I mean, that's pretty much like if anything's wrong with it, and if you're like, well, what makes it so sweet? I'm like, the looks. That's about it.
See, like if it was me, like I'd walk into like a sports car place and be like, what's that? That looks pretty. What? So that's only $20,000. Okay, like looks pretty.
I had somebody ask me the other day. It's like, what kind of motor's in your truck? I'm like, one that goes. He's like, well, that's all that matters. I'm like, yeah, for me.
Yeah.
Just not a car guy.
Me nor me. All right, Shawn. Pick number 3. It's something that I've been that I kind of have now, but I think what I would definitely do is I would take it and put it on steroids, Shawn. For pick number 3, I need a computer / battle station.
Like a supercomputer?
I need a supercomputer, Shawn. Computers are definitely one of those things that like you can easily sink a lot of money into.
So what's so like when we're talking lottery money, like I told you, like, you know, cars, 80,000 is like probably like when you're just starting to get into like the high end car market, but it can go up to like $250,000, $500,000, million.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not talking those numbers. Like,
but what's the like a computer range like that? Like yours is like a really good computer is like what, $3,000 to $5,000?
I would say if you want to go like balls out, you could probably go 7 or 8. And probably you would probably be knocking on 10 if you didn't do it yourself. Like if you hired, because there's companies all over that do custom PCs. Like if you wanted to get something like super custom and then have like a cool case design or something like that. Like, yeah, I'd say you could easily do 10. And then, you know, and then that's not even going into your displays. So like right now, Shawn, in front of me, I have 3 monitors. I have 2 kind of cheapo ones that I picked up for like, I think I scrounged them out somewhere for like $50 each. But my main monitor, the one I have as my center one, I think like was around 200, and that was me getting a really good deal on it. So I mean, when you're talking about like if money was no object, like what are we talking? I could get display wise. Could I, get like 70-inch televisions to use as a monitor? Yes, I could.
Yeah. Would that be too much though, or do you think that would be doable?
I mean, I think it just depends on how you're sitting.
Yeah, if you'd be sitting further back then.
Yeah, you just you put it up on the wall and then you just kind of sit back.
That's
if you got like a wireless, if you do, go with like a wireless keyboard and mouse. I mean,
I always wonder, like, is there some type of like, at what point are you just kind of losing not really your investment, but like if you watch on your phone, like phones are really high quality now. So you watch it here, like it's just as good as watching a 70-inch, 15 feet away.
Sure.
So at what point are you kind of losing, I guess,
I think at that point, then it's not really so much about your screen size. It's more about like your comfort level when you are watching something on a screen. Like you're watching something on your phone, like, yeah, the fidelity is close, is similar, but like you're sitting and you're holding the phone up to your face and you're just kind of sitting there holding it as if there's a 70-inch television, you're sitting on your couch, your arms are relaxed at your sides and you're just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, but you forget, Richard, you're rich. You can have somebody hold the phone for you. But I guess, so what would be, like, what kind of dollar amount are you thinking you're going to spend on a supercomputer?
I would if we're talking like stuff that normal, like the top tier stuff would probably be like around 10. Because not only would I probably pay somebody to put like my ultimate build together for me, but I would probably get a couple of them, to like 2 or 3 of them. So that way, not only would I have, in case something goes wrong, I'd have backups, but like if I wanted to have, like, let's say I wanted to stream something, like stream myself, I could have one computer run the stream and have another computer running a game, for example. And they both be, these $10,000 machines. Or if I have friends over, like, just like the old school 90s, you just have everything hooked together and have a LAN party.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Especially out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So yeah, so for me, it'd be a high end PC. It'd be some very like super like top of the line displays, like really good monitors, good audio. So earlier you were asking me what I put in the secret room. These are the things that I would have in the secret room.
Yeah, I would love to go all out on an audio system too. Like you're talking
Yes.
like I'm sure you can get up to like 100K and like a good audio system. That's what I would want.
Probably.
Like I'd want something that like tickles your ball sack while you're listening.
Well, not just that, but like, okay, like even like doing this, like podcasting, like, you know, get like a really like awesomely sweet setup where like you could, or like, you know, maybe like you could just instead, like I could just have like a really high quality lavalier mic that just like clips to my shirt. So then I could just like sit back and chit chat and like it feels way more natural than like me being hunched over a microphone. Like I'm Igor.
Yeah, no, I get that.
That sounds pretty nice.
I do like that idea.
So I guess my pick number 3 would be my ultimate tech setup.
All right, Richard, for my 4th round pick, I try to debate on if this would be like a lifetime thing, but I feel like I would never be in this city enough to really benefit from it. I may still keep it, but it would be more of something that I would definitely go out of my way to make it happen for one specific year.
Okay.
And so this would be, Richard, it would be a full summer event. I'd start in Arizona in February and May, and I'd finish hopefully watching a championship run in October. Richard, I would take season tickets for one season with the Chicago White Sox. So
how much is that? Like how much are season tickets with the
because I would get like the best seats, right? I'd probably have to overpay because usually those are like, you know, if you buy tickets, if you're a season ticket holder, it's basically like a year to year thing. So like if you don't just like, it's not first come, first serve each year. It's like, oh, you had these last year. Do you want them again this year? Yes. So I'd probably have to like buy somebody's, but you know, you can get season tickets for like $2 or $3 grand a ticket, like for the season. So that's 82 games that you get to go to. Like that's like the starting out. Like if you're looking at like something like behind home plate, you're probably looking more like in the 20 to 30 grand a ticket for the whole season.
Okay, so I've gone to 3 Major League Baseball games in my life. 2 of those were with you. So I have a couple questions. So in your opinion, would you have a better time having seats, like you said, like these behind home plate seats, or would you have a better time in like one of like the super like skybox things, like the private, you know, like private viewing thing with like the glass on the windows and the little, you know, private bar inside your skybox? Like what experience is better?
Ooh. I mean, in terms of like if you're wanting like an all around kind of like catered experience, like those private boxes are the way to go.
Okay.
But I also can kind of see like, you know, I don't want to get sloshed every game because again, Richard, there's 81 games. So if I'm going to every game getting drunk, it's going to be pretty rough.
Yeah, but you've got all the money in the world. You can cure cirrhosis.
That's true. But I would probably go more like right behind home plate just because I think the experience of being in the crowd for all those games would be a lot of fun.
Okay.
And it's one of those things too, like
I feel like it would vary from place to place.
Well, I would I mean, yeah, this would just be season tickets, so I wouldn't go to every game, although I probably would try to travel. But for the most part, all these games would be in Chicago because when you buy season tickets.
So at the Chicago where the White Sox play, that would be where you have the tickets. Where you go.
Yeah.
And you're saying for that you would want them behind home plate. You would not want a box.
Yes, yeah. Because I think you'd be in the crowd, and I think So like they have really good like services and stuff there too. So like you can get other things, but I think if you're in a box where a lot of that stuff is brought to you for free,
Yeah.
it would be very tempting to be like, well, I'm just going to eat another like hamburger, even though I had two. And by like June, like I'm, having chest pains because I've eaten like 30 hamburgers in a week. So I think like that would be like, maybe one game a week you're eating and drinking at the stadium, but the other ones you're just kind of eating regular food. Or I just think it'd be more about enjoying the baseball instead of like the amenities, which is really what you get for season tickets.
Yeah.
Plus, one of the cool things that I would really enjoy is getting to know the people that like work in those areas. Because whenever you know people or see people that like obviously are season ticket holders, they get to know like the servers and the what do you call the people that like bring people into their seats?
Like the valets and stuff.
Yeah, like valets and stuff like that. And so it'd be cool to kind of like get to know them, and they also have some cool perks like getting to meet the team and stuff, which I'm kind of too old for that now, but getting to like see the ballpark and kind of be a part of the group that runs like those areas of the ballpark would be really fun.
Okay.
But yeah, and you get to spend the whole year in Chicago or the whole summer in Chicago would be a lot of fun. And like I said, I'd probably pick a couple ballparks and travel with the team, which would be not with the team, but follow the team to those places would be cool. And just kind of see the whole thing.
Let me on the plane.
No, well, I've got $10 million. Like, yeah, so do I. Oh, damn it. But yeah,
I traded your seat off.
But my pick number 4 would be season tickets for one season with the White Sox.
All right. Pick number 4 for me. I'm still working on making my place a home. However, this would also work as I was traveling, Shawn. Shawn, I would dump. I have no idea how much money it would take, but I know that it's possible. I know that it's possible. So I'm going to make it happen. Shawn, for my next pick, I want Jarvis.
You've talked about this before, so you want Siri on steroids.
Exactly. But see, here's the thing is that Siri is owned by Apple, just like Alexa is owned by Amazon. Jarvis is owned by me.
So you're going to pay somebody to make your own Siri.
Yes, I'm going to pay somebody to make my own Siri that's going to go out and get, like, hey, Richard, do you need me to order food? Yeah, go ahead and order food. What would you like? Jersey Mike's again? Of course.
No, you know what I want, Jarvis. Jersey Mike's again.
But we'd have witty banter. He knows what I like. He, keep an eye on the place when I'm gone. I could have him on my phone. So that way, like if I have a question, I could talk to Jarvis and he could tell me what's going on. Jarvis, I don't know how the fuck to speak Italian. Help me out.
Well, then you'd be like, oh, Jarvis, I got to get out of my secret room. And you hear clicks like, it's not safe out there, Richard. No, it's fine. Let me out. No, Richard, I need you to stay here.
I feel like that is something that takes a lot less money to have than you think it would.
Well, I would assume that there's probably some base thing out there already. And then you could probably here
just take it and personalize it.
Yeah, so it's like $250,000 to get the base of this and then like a yearly $10,000 maintenance.
Yeah.
I kind of, what's interesting is like I see that you get like very much more tech involved with this. Like I feel like I'd be getting less and less tech involved.
Well, okay, yes, but also if you notice that the tech is used more to keep me off of it's basically a way to streamline my life so that way I don't have to deal with tech. If that makes sense.
A little bit, but even like your Jarvis system, like it's like it wouldn't isolate you from everything. It would still be kind of like hooked. It's just like
no, but it creates a buffer between me and dealing with minutia bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, it would be the one setting up the haircuts and stuff for you.
Exactly.
They do have those today. Google had something where you could basically like, hey, I want to set up a haircut, and it will call and talk to the people. And based off of what the person says, it can kind of figure out the trail to go. And the person never even knows they're not talking to a real person.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw that at some some developer conference like 3 or 4 years ago, because it was using like machine learning. The person would be like, hello, and the machine would be like, hi, I'm so-and-so. And it didn't sound like Siri or anything. And it's like, I'd like to set up a haircut. And it was like, oh, well, what day are you looking for? And it would know based off that to be like, oh, well, I'm looking for a date between X and Y.
Yeah.
It was creepy to think about.
So I would want a Jarvis system, and he would basically like, okay, like earlier when we were talking about taking a trip, like I need somebody to handle logistics. Like I just need somebody to handle the logistics of it. I feel like somebody like Jarvis would handle the logistics of my life. So that way I am freed up to do whatever else the fuck I want to do.
Yeah, I'm curious what systems out there can do that, because that would be pretty slick.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Like when I said that, I feel like that is cheaper than, I feel like something like that is cheaper than you probably think it is. I don't know, but I'm guessing it's probably cheaper than you think it is.
Yeah,
it's more possible than you think it is.
Yes, I would agree. It's probably more possible. Maybe not cheaper. Because I bet like just hiring a personal assistant is probably way cheaper than that system would ever be right now.
Probably.
But then you've got somebody that you have to talk to. You can't be like, Susie, go get me candy. It's like, my name's Brian. When you're in this house, you're Susie. I love that song, A Boy Named Sue.
Isn't that right, Jarvis? Yes, Susie.
All right, Richard. For my 5th round pick, I feel like if you talk about like this kind of wealth that you could get, like I said, when it gets to like $1 billion,
right?
I feel like there is just way too much money in there that like I could do everything and anything I ever dreamed of and still have way too much money left over.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is I would want to set up and start a charity.
Nice.
So, there's multiple things that I think, charities always feel like they're very focused on one.
Shawn here taking the moral high ground, like, oh, I'm start a charity.
I feel like, like I said, there's like, I had an uncle who had Down syndrome. So I feel like, what I want to do something with that, maybe that would be a charity you could start. My mom has diabetes, so maybe like diabetes would be a thing. Cancer's always been a big thing. So maybe something with cancer. But I feel like there's a lot of stuff already for that. But one thing I think that would be more fitting to what would help people, especially if you had this kind of wealth, would be something to help like families in need.
Yeah, nice.
So specifically, like families that have fallen on hard time, it wouldn't just be focused on like, oh, well, this family had X, Y, and Z happen. So that's they fall into this charity. It'd be more like based off of different situations and trying to help set up those families and their kids for success. Give them opportunities that, maybe in their current situation they couldn't afford or couldn't.
How would they access your charity? Like, do they like write you a very like sorrowful letter or
sorrowful letter? They have to praise me. They have to talk about how great my car is. No, I think, a lot of those, it would be, some of it would be going out and, having people do that. Like, hey, I know this family that has this happening. Maybe you find like, or you hear a story about a family that has something happen. If there's these big, like natural disasters that tend to happen, sometimes you go and find a family that's been in that situation. Mm-hmm. The one kicker I had on this is like, and it would kind of suck with this, but at some point you might have to say no to people.
Right.
And that would be the tough thing. And there's a little bit of like, I don't know how I would set this up and, but you'd have some kind of like committee that would help make these decisions, because I wouldn't want to just fall on one person to be like, oh, well, you get this, you don't, you get this, you don't.
Sure.
So that's the one part that would be kind of, I think it'd be really, really rewarding in one sense, but then in another sense, it would also be like, well, I'm still not doing enough. But it would definitely be something I'd want to try and do as much as I can to help those in need. So I don't have a name for my charity. I wouldn't want my name on it specifically. But yeah, that'd be my 5th round pick, is to start a charity to help.
Shawn is a generous God, LLC.
We'll write that down.
We're at number 5, correct?
Number 5, yep.
Number 5. Okay, so for number 5 for me, I actually was thinking something similar to you. Like charity. I mean, I don't know if I call this charity. This is probably a much more cynical approach, and I'm sure you're probably going to roll your eyes at this. But one thing that I would definitely do if I had, umpteen $million is I would essentially buy a United States senator. I would 100% fund their entire campaign.
Well, I think you can only legally donate like $5,000 max.
You're right. I can only legally donate $5,000 max.
But you could create a PAC and donate as much as you want.
I could. You're absolutely right. I could. But I would essentially 100% I would fund a United States senator, fund their entire campaign, and then they get elected, and guess what? The only person they answer to is me, because I'm the only one with my hand on the spigot.
Oh, you're like, oh, Mr. Jones, you don't like my ideas, huh? Well, guess who's going to get primaried this coming election?
Exactly. Guess who's going to get primaried by Tom? Who's Tom? I don't know. I'll find a guy named Tom, and he's the guy that's gonna beat you in the fucking primary.
Yeah, Richard's FU pack. That's what it is. FU money pack.
But I mean, think about that. Like, okay, imagine a politician who
imagine a politician in my pocket.
No, not even necessarily in my pocket, but imagine a politician who is not beholden to anybody, like any sort of entity, be it governmental or corporate, beholden to no one other than possibly my ideas.
Why don't you just run for Senate?
Because that's just something I gotta do.
Yeah.
I'm traveling the world, Shawn. I'm hanging out with Jarvis. Like, we're fucking kicking it in Malibu, or we're in Northern California. We're in the Redwoods. Why the fuck do I want to leave that?
It's true. I'd be kind of curious, like, how quick that would dry up your money, though. Because I know, like, those packs are like $20-30 million a year type thing. So you can get dried up pretty quick.
You're right. I feel like you definitely could. I feel like it's definitely like a quicksand kind of pit thing. However, during that time, I could have this crazy fucker introduce all sorts of shit.
You'd probably have better luck with like a representative. It'd be a little cheaper, kind of the same idea.
But think about it, Shawn. Like, they could be like, "Hey, I want to introduce a bill where, I don't know, any crazy idea that because here's the other thing I'm thinking is that I feel like a lot of politicians are afraid to make any substantiary, if that's a word, suggestion as to how to improve a given situation.
So I think, yeah. So in your situation, you would find somebody who would be like a true independent. Because that's the other thing. Well, I mean, I would essentially
create a true independent because they don't answer to, obviously they answer to the people that voted for them.
Yeah. Well, I could get behind that even more so because, if you get somebody elected that's Democratic or Republican, because we're a two-party system, even if they're not technically beholden to any PACs or anything, they're still tied to a party,
right? And they're still required to raise money for that party.
Yeah, but if you have somebody like you said, you brought in as a true independent, is not either side. This is what I'm doing on my own. That would be interesting. That would be kind of like a very turning the system upside down slightly. And I'm curious how
and
far
that person
they'd
would
let you
walk
go.
in the door and be like, I think that we should, I don't, like I said, like you come up with like any sort of, like that person has the freedom to make suggestions or propose legislation that nobody else would be able to say, or nobody else would be able to propose, because, you know, like, hey, I think we should make the internet a utility instead of, and have it be regulated as such, like a utility.
And they can give their reasons why, because they're not having to like dance around a topic.
Exactly, because it's like, oh shit, like there's a, you know, like AT&T has an office in my district that houses, you know, 10,000 workers. And if I talk out of turn against AT&T, then AT&T packs up their shit and moves out.
I mean, you could still run into that.
You could, but then that guy has the freedom to say, hey, let me tell you why AT&T's pissed off is because I think,
yeah,
like that guy has, that person has complete autonomy.
to the specific area. I mean, unfortunately, if like AT&T packs up and leaves and there goes 30,000 jobs and all 30,000 of those voters are in your district, it hurt. I mean, in a statewide race, if you're doing Senate, that's different. A representative for sure.
I think that's why I said Senate, because I feel like districts you can it feels a lot. It's a smaller pond, and so it's able to be like tweaked more.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be something that in like 10 or 15 years, you'd be like, wait, where'd all my money go?
Yeah, I'm hesitant. I was hesitant to suggest it for just that reason. It definitely could turn, because I mean, you're talking about like every, you know,
6 years.
every 6 years. Yeah, Senate. Every 6 years, I'd be having to sink like this boatload of money into.
Yeah, every 6 for sure, and you probably have to have some trickling in every year.
Yeah,
but then you open yourself up to like, oh, what's this guy doing? Let's look at his taxes. Well, what's this guy doing? Let's see what he's doing all this traveling to country for.
Yeah.
Hey, Richard, we need you to come in for a Senate hearing. It's like, damn it.
Jarvis, you go instead.
How much does a robot cost? $10 million? Worth it. Dirt, dirt, dirt.
If Zuckerberg can do it, so can I.
That'd be interesting.
That was a robot. I don't care what anybody says.
Robot or lizard or alien, one of the three.
Yeah. So yeah.
Nice. Well, I like that. That's kind of an interesting one for sure.
Yeah. I would buy a United States senator.
Richard, for my 6th round pick, I've probably only had 1 or 2, I would say, of these things that I would say were very memorable.
Okay.
So I won't bury the lead. I want to throw myself the ultimate birthday bash.
Oh, okay.
So in my lifetime, like my birthday is kind of in a, like your wife's too. It's just in a shitty time, right? My birthday is January 11th.
Right.
So by the time it gets here, everybody is done celebrating shit. We just got through November. We just got through Christmas.
Thanksgiving. We had Christmas. We had New Year's. And then here comes fucking Shawn with his bullshit.
Because, like, you could probably get, like, if it's like the 4th or 5th, you could probably be like, oh, yeah, let's get one more little celebration in before we kick back into the new year. But me, it's like 10 days after, everybody's like just starting to get back in the groove. And I'm like, hey, what about me? Everybody's like, fuck you. Call us in a week or 2. So I would want this event, you know, all my friends. So Richard, it'd just be you and me. No, all of my friends.
Nice.
And, you know, like, I don't know if I'd want to do, because my birthday's in January, so it's very wintry feel. Would I want like a skiing thing, like a lodge, or would I want like a beach bash?
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be big, you know, like lots of food.
I was going to say, like, where are we going? Like, what are we doing? Like, now I'm intrigued.
I feel like I'd want to do like a big, like, not on a, what I want to, I'd have boats in the harbors, but like, I think I'd want a beach bash, right? Like right on the beach. Like you think like spring break style, you know, not as many people obviously, but like a big stage. We'd have Sugar Ray out there playing. Why Sugar Ray? Because I feel like it should be Sugar Ray. you'd have like 3 bands play. It would just be this big, like, fun atmosphere, like good food. And then you have like, 5,000 people singing me happy birthday.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would want.
That sounds nice. You should do that now.
I told Tiffany that I want to have a 2000 themed, because we're at that point in frame where that's old school themed party.
Yeah.
Like low-rise jeans, cargo pants for me, or carpenter pants for me. Those old Adidas type shoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, it'd just be fun to kind of have like a one, because I know a lot of people get like, their 40th birthday or their 50th birthday is a big celebration, but it'd be like one last big, like, over celebratory for your birthday type of event. So that's what I would want.
I like that. That sounds nice. Like I said, like you should just do that now.
Well, so I'll set it up this year. Do you want to come and see me for my birthday?
Yes.
Were you supposed to say, no, it's right after New Year's. I'm going to be too busy. I'm too tired.
Oh, wait, when is it again?
January 11th.
Oh.
Can we do it at the end of the month?
I mean, like, what if, I've already, like.
I understand.
But I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, my budget is just like wrecked after New Year's, and
happy birthday, Shawn.
What do you mean budget? You won the lottery. Like I'm saying, shit gets tight.
It's almost election season. That's not till November. Well, you got to start early.
Yeah, it's always an election cycle, Shawn. Let's see. Pick number 6. What would I get for pick number 6? I would want, and I don't know why, I think this just popped in my head because of stuff I'm recently like listening to, but it 100% is because of stuff I'm listening to. For my number 6 pick, I would want to own a recording studio, like a really top-notch, not necessarily even tech-wise, but just like maybe like buy like an old studio, like an old studio that has like a lot of history with it, and like modernize, like give it some modern technology, so that way like bands and stuff want to come in. Shawn, then I get to hang out with fucking bands all day while they're making music. I get to hang out with a bunch of people making music all day.
I'd be down. Like, you look at like some of the places where like there's like really good bands that like are coming up, but in the culture, or not the culture, but in the environment we have now, like recording studio space is expensive. And
yes.
These guys usually don't have a ton of money coming up.
Yeah, record labels don't want to shell out a budget for somebody to make a record to make a record anymore, because they're just like, why the fuck do you need a recording budget? Like, just sit on your laptop and make it on fucking Pro Tools, you moron. Like, we're not giving you any money to make a record. Just sit in, I'll tell you what, we'll rent you a hotel room for a month. Just sit there and fucking clicky clacky, motherfucker.
You know what? Don't even do it. We'll have Jarvis do it for you. We'll just slap your name on it. But no, like, you could open this up for like, up and coming bands where they have a place where they can get this going.
Like up and coming bands could come, or like seasoned, like bands that have been around, and they just, want like some new fresh space, or somebody that's like interested in like the history of a place. Like, yeah,
that'd be cool. Would you just be there, or would you try to learn how to like produce and stuff like that?
I would probably just be there. Every now and again, I might have a suggestion about something, but that would probably be the extent to which
you'd be the rich dude that walks in like, hey, hey guys, I'll let you know I own this place. On that line where you say, baby, baby, oh, try, baby, oh, baby. Do that instead, all right? Just a reminder, I own this place.
You're on my dime, motherfucker. Yeah, I don't think I would begin to, like I said, at the most, it might be like a little like, hey, what if you did this? What if you did that instead? That'd be kind of cool, right?
That'd be fun. I mean, that'd be something too. Like, I'm trying to figure out like what my hobby would be if I like, because basically like, you don't need to work anymore, right? But I feel like I still need something that would be productive and creative. And that'd be something cool. Like you would start to pick that stuff up and how to produce and like what it takes. And I mean, it would take some time, but after a couple of years, you could get that down. And if you start, like you bring in like after you've had a few months or and you kind of get like what you feel like the basics, you find that band that's like, hey, we've been together for 3 years. We don't have enough money for a recording studio. Like, listen, you let me produce your album, let me do it. And it'll be like 25% of what it would actually cost at a different place. And you've got better equipment and I'm getting to learn on the job. Like that would be kind of fun.
Yeah. And I feel like, hanging around a studio, like for any length, for an extended period of time, like you'd pick stuff up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So like maybe as time went on, maybe you'd be like, hey, this other band that was in here, like a couple of years ago, they did this thing. And what if you did something similar to that? Like that would be all right.
Yeah. If you spent any time at all, you'd start picking it up and then, you'd start learning it. And then you get enough little bit of time behind you and you just say, listen, I'm going to try to produce this one by myself and see what happens.
So I'd have a very cool recording studio. Like I said, like, I think that I would want something with like, not necessarily like some like big fancy fucking like, decked out to the nines place, but like just maybe some place that like has like some musical history behind it. Be like, oh, well, these records were made here and it kind of fell into disrepair. It kind of like that Sound City documentary, like buy a studio like that where like so much amazing music got made in that studio and then it just kind of fell by the wayside as time went on, Yeah,
it might be something like it's not a studio anymore. It's like a local shop that sells instruments or sells, magazines. And you're like, oh, this used to be a studio.
Yeah. Somebody did end up buying that Sound City studio and it's still functioning as a recording studio today.
That's cool.
So
I like that idea. Well, for my 7th round money shot pick, Richard, I think this kind of ties into what my hobby would be. And it would definitely allow you and I for sure to branch into other things we've talked about before. And that would be to create officially, with all the stuff we would need, the Violent Panda Productions business.
Oh my God, that was gonna be mine.
Was it?
That was 100%. See, I'm letting the cat out of the bag. That would absolutely be my money shot pick. Like, because in my head, like I'm thinking like I won the lottery and you didn't, like so it's just me. But like what, like my money shot pick was I was gonna be like, I want to pay you like some like crazy fucking salary, like like $90,000 a year, and all you do, like all I need you to do is just work on this show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and
then I'll even like throw like another like. $1 million for marketing or what, like whatever you need,
Yeah. I mean, for mine, I might hire you. I'd have to see your references and all that kind of.
You son of a bitch.
No,
reference
it totally.
1, you. Reference 2, Jarvis.
No, but yeah, this is, I think if, I don't know, like, I don't know what amount of money it would take to kind of get like something sustainable. And it wouldn't even have to be like it's making money. But the fact that we could create, like maybe we could create web episodes, maybe we can hire actual actors and, kind of build this little content creation media company that, maybe doesn't make tens of millions of dollars, but, it's starting to reach out to people. And I just think that would be my hobby. So like you talk about like in between like the traveling or stuff I would do, this would be like my main focus and the thing that would drive me. Like I said, like this was how we would make our first movie. This is how we would continue this podcast, other podcasts. Yeah. Like you said, like what amount of money in terms of like promotion would it take for us to kind of start getting some of that, capturing more and more audience of people that would think we're entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I've always said it. I guarantee you there's 10 to 20,000 people out there that listen to podcasts that would like our stuff, but trying to find it is extremely difficult in this time just because 100%. There's so much out there.
Yeah.
But if we had this arm of our corporation, that would be a way for us to kind of get out there. And then like I said, with a lot of this too, help others that are kind of in our same boat that we like.
Exactly. But yeah, that was gonna be my money shot pick. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pay you to make this show and make other shit. Like that's what I would do. I would pay you however much you need, however much you want, and then just like that's what you would do.
I always like whenever I drive by buildings that look like they'd be amazing studios, I always think like, you know what, that could be Violent Panda Productions home base.
Whenever I have like the thought in my head, like, what if you won the lottery? Like, what if you won like millions of dollars? I'm like, I would, at the very least, like, let's say I won like, I don't know, like $10 million. Okay. Not a lot. Like, I mean, once you factor in like, taxes and like, oh, I need, I'm going to get a nice house and, like, like once you go through that list. But I always told myself, like, one thing that I would definitely do if I won even a small, like 5 million, if I won $5 million, okay. Or even like, I don't know, like, yeah, like if I won 5 million, I told myself that like one thing that you would definitely do, like I would ask you, I would say, okay, what is if I paid you, like $100,000 just for 1 year and all you did was work on this show or work on other stuff. I paid you $100,000. Like, and I'm not saying that like let's do that for a year and see what the fuck happens. And like maybe nothing will happen. And after that year, it'll be like, okay, well, maybe we'll do something different or what, or like whatever. But at the very least, if I had won like a $5 million jackpot, I'd be like, Shawn, I'm paying you. I'm going to write you a check for $100,000. And I need you to quit your job for 1 year, and this is what you're going to do.
Yeah, that's the same thought. I had like, I would try to do like a 5 or 10 year plan. Cause like you said, like $10 million is a lot of money, but you could easily get through that pretty quickly, like doing a few things. But like, I always thought like I would try to figure out a way to give us like a 5 to 10 year salary. And so that way, if like we could at least get 5 or 10 years out of it to see if we can make it work. And then if it's not going to sustain itself and I haven't won like the $1 billion, then it's like, okay, well, we've got money. We've made X number of dollars over these years. We've got this other bit to follow back on. Looks like we got to go find regular jobs too to, or at least something that, or at least our lifestyle wouldn't be as extravagant if it's the $1 billion style. But, try to come up with that plan up front and be like, all right, let's give this dive in 100%. What can we do? But yeah, I have that same thought. And it, like, whenever I buy a lottery ticket, that's if we were talking all these things, the fishing trip, I think would definitely be the first thing, but that's like a 30 grand thing. But talking like big things, it would definitely be trying to invest whatever I get to give this an even more chance to be successful.
When I buy a lottery ticket, the two things that I think about more than anything else would be that, like you said, would be the number 1 pick, the travel around the world, and the number 7 pick.
Yep, mine too.
Those two things are definitely on there. Like those are easily the first two things I think about.
Because I think all the other ones I have are they're very much kind of nice to haves. Like, obviously a quarterly trip, I don't need that. Like I could go once a year or every other year or whatever. I don't need a new car. Don't need season tickets. But I need this business to be successful. What do you have for a couple and buts?
I probably just for me the and buts would probably just be like, your basics, like some like crazy movie props, like screen used, like lightsabers would be awesome. Going to like being able to go to like conventions all the time.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Like go and hang out at conventions, like and do like those meet and greets, like those high dollar meet and greets, like that'd be awesome.
You buy all the tickets for one day. You're like, fuck you, everybody. Hey, Jeremy Renner, you get to hang out with me all day. For me, I had I was trying to think of like some big event that not necessarily that I like really, really want to go, but would be worth the saying like you got to do it once. And I thought of like the Super Bowl. So getting to do like that whole weekend trip. And what I think would be fun too is, if you got a couple extra tickets and found people that were fans of the team in it that obviously couldn't afford to go, and like take them and like their kid or something. I think that would be a blast.
Oh yeah, that'd be rad.
And then for Tiffany specifically, I wouldn't necessarily really have to go. But like
I'd buy Amanda a shirt.
But like you're 1 year traveling, I would set up like some super awesome like European trip for Tiffany and I.
Okay.
Right. Well,
I don't know. I guess I just expected her to be with me this whole trip.
Yeah, she would. I mean, on yours, I would assume she would be. Like when I go to Live Aqua, I'm not going by myself because then I will have half less money than I did before. All right, well, let me run through these.
What I like? I like the fact that none of us said go into space. I think we should applaud ourselves for that. None of us said, I want to go into space.
Well, to be fair, that takes up
stupid
quite a bit of money on that trip.
Yeah. I'm glad that neither one of us said go to space.
If I don't know, I think they're getting a lot of shade for that. I mean, obviously we're talking about the two rich dudes that did it.
I think that they're getting a lot of unnecessary shade because and not because I think that it's not warranted. It's just because I don't care. Like I just don't care. Like don't put a new I don't need to read a news story and be like, hey, Dr. Evil went into space. Like I just don't care.
Yeah, if it's building, because like I've heard a lot of people say that NASA is not getting us to Mars; it'll be a private company.
Stupid rich guys spend stupid money to do a stupid thing. Like okay, like cool. Moving on.
Yeah, hopefully those stupid things will get us further into space, but we'll see.
I mean, it'd be great.
Time. I know that's what Elon Musk wants to do. He wants to die on Mars.
Yeah,
he wants to die on his home planet. But yes, I even if Mars was an option, I don't want to go there. I have a fear of enough of things that I don't want to do that. But let me run through these picks real quick. So for my first round pick, I had fishing trip with my dad. Second round pick, quarterly trips to Live Aqua. Third round pick, a brand new Dodge Charger. Fourth round pick, season tickets for one season with the White Sox. Fifth round pick, start a charity. Sixth round pick, the ultimate birthday bash. And seventh round money shot pick, start the Violent Panda Productions business. For Richard, for your first round, you had 1 year traveling around the world. Second round pick, big house with a secret room in California. Third round pick, ultimate tech setup. Fourth round pick, Jarvis. Fifth round pick, buy a United States senator. Create your own super PAC. Sixth round pick, a recording studio. And seventh round pick, just like mine, start up this awesome podcasting business.
Yes, all of it.
All right, Richard. Well, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts in this lottery draft episode?
At the end of the day, the real wealth is what you make it. And sometimes you don't make a lot.
I've heard, Richard, that money can't buy happiness, but I've never seen a sad person on a wave runner.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. Well, Richard, even though we don't have the big houses, let me do a little bit of housekeeping in it. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbromance.com. You can also find us on the Good Pods podcast app. We have our own group there, so check that out and join and just let us know that you did that. And if you want to join our other group where you send us money because we have not yet won the lottery, that's our Patreon account. And we'd like to thank our two patrons, Wendy and Aaron. Richard, both
instead of money, they should send us lottery tickets.
Oh, yeah, good point. Well, I was going to say, Wendy and Aaron, they are definitely invited to my ultimate birthday bash.
Oh, yeah. Not to my house, though.
All right, was there anything else before I close her out?
Nope, I'm good, sir.
All right, well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
Remember, don't be a why. Be a why not. You going to go buy a lottery ticket tonight?
No.
No. I might buy one tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
I might buy one. Now I have to.
Yeah.
I'm only spending $2, though.
I'll spend 10.
Oh. Mr. Moneybags over here.